Hello, hello, hello. How are you? Welcome to Beema's Crafty Corner. I am Beema, better known as Els, and this is my corner. And I have a question. Do you have this? Do you have these? These like note cards in every color, every design, like boxes of them. I know we all went and bought these at one point or another. This one is all, mermaids, and this one is just bright colors. But, we have others too. We have ones that look like this, and so I have a project for these. Now, I'm going to tell you, this does not work with the ones that, the design goes this way. We want the ones where the design goes this way or that are solid colored, okay? Also, you can use this is actually just a piece of cardstock from a pad that is folded to work, okay? So I'll give you the measurements on how to do that. And then I'll give you the measurements to do all the cutting and stuff. So I'm going to get everything out of the way, and I'm going to come back, and we're going to take both of these, and we're going to turn them into something totally different, okay? I'll be right back. All right, so this one is very simple, okay? If you are using a card, like this one, all you need is a paper trimmer. If you're going to be using cardstock, then you're probably going to want some scoring tools, glue, and a circle punch to cut a notch, okay? So let's do this measurement first, and then we'll get into actually building the card, okay? So I'm just going to move this stuff over, and we're going to cut this down. So this is a standard size card, which means that it is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So we're going to go to 8 1/2 because we need 8 1/2 to fold in half and make the 4 1/4. So we're going to cut a piece that is 8 1/2 by 5 1/2. And this is a 12 by 12, but if you're using 8 1/2 by 11 paper, you just cut it in half down the 11-inch to 5 1/2, and it gets you to right where you want to be, okay? So now that I've got that, I'm just going to put this to the side for the moment because in order to make the card now, we need to do a little bit of scoring. And all we're going to do is score this at 4 1/4. That's it. Why are we going to score it? You could fold it. You could just fold it in half, but why are we going to score it? We're going to score it because if we don't score it, we could crack the paper. We don't want to crack it. Okay, so fold it in half. Make sure that everything lines up. And then just hit it with your bone folder. Okay, now, cracking. I'll be right back. I'm going to show you the difference between scoring and not scoring. I'll be right back. All right. So now I have 2 cards made from the same piece of cardstock. This is the one that we just did, and this is the one that I had originally. So this one I scored. See my crease? Nice and clean. Okay. This one I folded. I just folded it by hand. Do you already see the problem? That is called cracking. And that is what happens when you don't score. Okay? So I pre-scored. This one is cracked. This one is not. Okay? So that's the difference. I'll be right back. All right. So for this first part, we're going to take our card. Now, some of these have like a little strip at the bottom here that has writing on it. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut that off. And we're going to cut it off at a 1/2 inch. All right. I'm going to save that because we're going to use it. And then on the other side, which is now the longer of the 2 sides, we're going to remove 1 1/2 inches. Okay, that is all of our cutting. So you should have 3 pieces. Your original card, kind of mutilated, 1 strip that's 1 1/2 inches, and 1 strip that is 1/2 inch. That's all the cutting. I'm going to get everything out of the way. And when I come back, we're going to go back and do this little bit of work. Okay, Now, you may want your scoreboard again because you're not going to want, but if you don't have a scoreboard, you could certainly use the track in your paper trimmer, okay? And if you don't have that, just use a ruler. I'll be right back. All right, so we're going to work with this little piece. And what we want to do is, this is a half an inch. So we want to just come like in the middle of it. Now, you can do this by just folding it if you want to, but it's going to crack if it's, paper. So what I'm going to do is just use my scoring tool and a ruler, and I'm just going to put a line on here. And that's just going to help me to fold this. It doesn't have to be perfectly in half, but you want it to be, in half. So we're going to fold it in half-ish, and then we'll just run our bone folder over it. That's it, okay? All right, next part. Throw things around. It helps. Okay, next part. We're going to cut this down to in half. Okay, so we're going to cut this in half. There we go. Roughly in half. We want it to be about the same size as these ends, okay? So if you want to ink, ink. If you want to corner round, corner round. I'm going to round the top corners on this one. So I'm going to round that corner and that corner. And then I'm going to actually round corners on this piece too. Even though this piece, we'll still have that piece, we're still going to round corners here. Let's get the right corner. There we go. So I'm going to round corners, and then I'm going to ink. All right? But before I ink, I'm going to take this piece, and I'm going to line it up with the short side. Perfect. Find my middle point, which this is 5 1/2. So it's 2 3/4. That's what we're looking for. And just put a little mark there so you know where the middle is. And then you're going to hold these two together. Come in. Let's get an actual. We're going to come in and put in our finger notch. Now that's going to make sure that when we put this all together, it's all lined up. If you want to use this as a pocket in the back as well, then just move this piece over. And put your finger notch in there as well. Now all of your finger notches are going to line up, okay? So go ink, and I'll be right back. Alrighty. Now, if you don't want this part to show, you're going to want to cut a piece that is 5 1/4 by at least 3 inches, and then just put it on here and recut your finger notch, okay? But if you don't care, or if you're going to decorate it some other way, you could just ink it however you want to do it. It's totally up to you. All right, so we've got all of this stuff done, and now we're going to put this together. So first things first, we're going to get out our glue. Can you use tape? Yes. Yes, you can. If you want to use tape on this and you have tape that's thin enough, you most certainly could use tape, double-sided tape to do this. Okay? So first thing we're going to do is take our little pieces here, and from the fold, this is the fold, that's the open end. From the fold, we're just going to wedge in a little bit on both sides. Okay? On both. But why? Because it reduces bulk. That's why. All right, now I'm going to take this. I'm going to put some glue on here. And I'm going to put this fold on the short side, right on the edge. I'm doing that on both sides. Now, some people use, very specific paper to do this, and that's fine. But I'm trying to do this so that we use every piece of this card. Okay. Now, glue here, and we're going to close it. Now that's a gusseted pocket. So it's going to be a little bit wider. You're going to be able to put a little bit more bulky stuff in there. The next pocket that we're putting on is this little one in the front. And so all we're going to do is glue down, across, and over. And this one is going to just go, it's just going to live right here in the front. And this one is not going to be gusseted. Why? Because it's a very small pocket. And that means if we put something in it, there's not a lot to hold it. So this is perfect for like a card, not something that's got a lot of bulk to it. You want like a card that would sit like this. And back here is where you can have your thicker, more decorated things, okay? So that is our piece. Now you have 1 pocket, 2 pockets, 3 pockets. If you glue this down, just glue it down and around over here. If you want to glue the whole thing down, glue it down. You could also, he's got to come in and say hi. Come say hi. You could also skip this finger notch and you could put something like a tag that comes in on the side. You got to go. All right, so we have a pocket here, and a pocket here. If you would like, you could actually glue this down and glue it on these 3 sides, and then you would have a tuck on the outside, whichever side, you know, you wanted to leave open. You would certainly have a tuck there as well. Now, I do want to show you how we can adjust this, because this is 5.5 inches wide, which may be too wide for your page. Typically, a page is 5.5 inches wide, but let's say we only want this to be 4.5 inches wide. We'll take 1 inch off. This can now become our gussets. We'll take our 1/2 inch off the bottom. We'll take our 1.5 inches off of the other side. Again, we have all 3 of our pieces. Okay. Let's go ahead and let's put our notches in here. Now, I'm not going to ink this one because we're just going to do it kind of quick. I'm not going to put a notch back here because I'm actually going to use this and to glue down, and I'm going to have my pocket on the side for this one. Okay? And then I'm going to get out my corner rounder. I'm going to round my corners. And I will show you the beauty of using your scrapbook paper to do this. You have these little leftover pieces that you can put in here. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this down to 4.5 by 2.5 will do it. This will go on the back. So I'm going to go ahead and round my corners. And then this piece would get glued on to here. That way, you're not going to see all of that white in the background. So we'll take that and there we go. Put that on. That's our 1/2 inch piece. Now, again, you can put this through if you'd like, or you could just fold it. It's entirely up to you. I'm just going to fold this one since we're doing it the quick way. There's that cracking. See? Then I'm going to cut this piece in half because I want one on each side. Now, what if I cut this too short? It happens. Put it at the top of the pocket. Okay. Put it at the top point of the pocket. There. And up here. Gluing that down. And then I'm going to go ahead and glue this piece on. Now, I didn't ink this, so it's going to be a little bit hard to see. But, you know, we'll put something in there so you can see. This piece goes right there. And then, so you have a pocket here. Where'd that little one go? There it is. And a pocket here. And now we're going to have a pocket over here as well when I glue this down, because I'm going to glue it here, here, and here. So I'll have a pocket here, and that'll enable me to be able to put something in this side, okay? Or I could glue there, there, and there, and put something on this side. It's entirely up to you, but now it's 4.5 inches, and that fits a little bit better on a page and gives you a little bit of more room on the edge, okay? So if you want to put like a tab or something on it, you could certainly do that. Anyway, that's my little project. These literally take about 6 minutes a piece to do, okay? So if you have, like a lot of us, a lot of these like little note cards, and you're like, I just don't want to just keep shoving note cards in. You don't have to. You can do a little pocket with them, okay? So there they are. My little pockets. They're so cute. All right, guys, that's it. That's all I have for you. If you're new here and I haven't offended you in any way, push the, the subscribe button. Why not, right? Let's see. If you would like to know what's going on with the channel, you can get a list of my upcoming videos, free classes, all of that kind of stuff. Just by going to the community tab here on the YouTube channel, or you can go over to my Facebook group. In order to get to that, all you have to do is go to the bottom of this page, click on the more in the description, and it's going to take you to literally all of my socials. So it's got a whole bunch of links down there. You can do my Ko-Fi, you can pick up some free digitals, you can do my Patreon, you can go to my Facebook group, even my email address is down there. So that's it. That's all I have for you. Until I see you again, stay hydrated, stay warm or cold, depending upon what Mother Nature is up to, and stay well, my friends. I love you guys. Bye-bye.